All right, so hopefully tonight will be the final night on this one. I believe I found the problem. I believe this socket here is bad. I just focused on the RAMs because to me it seemed like a RAM problem from the beginning, but I got sidetracked. I was thinking it could have been a bus problem, so I was replacing things that were connected to the buses, the address and data buses. But it was a RAM problem, and it was not the RAM itself, it's the socket. And in particular, pin 5 of that chip, which was A12. Pin 5 of A12 was not connecting it wasn't ohming out. So when I would ohm out between that pin 5, between all these RAMs, this one was not connected. So I'm going to replace that socket, and that should at least improve the situation. I'm hoping it will fix it. We will find out. Yeah, so that's that. Let me just replace that and see what happens. I'll be back. So I've got the socket off and the holes cleaned out, ready to install a new socket. And someone has replaced this. It might have been me years ago, I don't remember. But someone has replaced these sockets before, and one of these traces is lifted. So there was a jumper on the back to correct for this. I will be reattaching that jumper, but that's pin number 14, so that's going to be the data input, I think. Let me double check. Pin 14 is data output, actually. So the data output pin on this chip has a bad trace going to pin 14, and I will fix that. Basically, that solder ball there that you can hardly tell because it's darkened. I'll be completing the jumper to that. So I've got the new the new socket installed. The chip is plugged back in there. Everything ohms out. Everything checks out. So let me turn it on and see if it worked, if we've got it fixed or not. Okay, the garbage on the Tutankham title is missing, so that's good. That's a positive. The credits doesn't have garbage in it anymore. The guy is walking. He's not being shredded like he was going before. All the sprites are looking good. Colors are looking good. He's not walking through walls anymore. That's the big thing, right? Everything's looking real good. Yes. All right. Well, I don't know if that's the last problem or not, but that definitely is the one that I've been trying to fight, trying to solve. And I believe we got her. There was another problem with the audio, and I'll check that off video because I'm going to have to play the game to detect that problem. But I think that's going to be it. Now, what's weird about this is the RAM test failed. When I plug in the test chip, it goes through all the tests. It was saying static RAM good, video RAM good. Now, the video RAM is what that was, that DRAM. Apparently, the guy that wrote the self-test didn't make it where the upper and lower data bits would be different, right? Because if it was an address line that wasn't connected. So if the value that's stored in there is the same for both 1 and 0 of that address bit, then it's going to pass self-test. So a more stringent self-test needs to be written for the RAMs in order to detect that particular problem. But I mean, as far as detecting if the chip was good or bad, it worked fine for that. That test would probably be fine for that. But this is to detect a connection problem. All right, I think that may be it. I'm going to test the audio. Hopefully it's fixed too. I don't know if it could be though, because it was a RAM problem. I don't see how that could affect the audio. We'll see. If I don't continue this, then the audio is fine, and this is the end of the video. Well, as it turns out, we do have a sound problem. When I fire the guy, it doesn't matter left or right. If I fire it, it keeps repeating the firing sound for like a second, and then it stops. It should only make the sound once instead of repeating over and over. So I'm going to focus on the soundboard now. I'm going to do things like swapping the 2 sound generator chips, maybe replacing them to start with. Anything socket, I'll reseat the ROMs, although I don't think that's going to be the problem. I think it's going to be these guys. But let me try those tricks and see if it does any better. All right, so reseating the ROMs and this did improve it. I think it still happens from time to time, but I can live with it. So I'm going to call this one done. It plays very well. All the sounds are there and they sound good. So finally, this took a long time. I replaced about 10 chips I didn't need to replace because the self-test showed the RAMs were passing test. But apparently they are lacking for all the possibilities there. Anyway, I'm calling this one done. Thanks for watching.